Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Politically Incorrect Knitters. I am Deplorable Knitter. This is the fabulous Ann Pinkava, and she's joining us from an undisclosed location. It kind of looks like you're going to be interrogated in a minute.
I know. I'm going to be interrogated by these two moron dogs, let me tell you. Sorry, I am pre-angry. Here, Arlo, jump up here. Say hello. Let the nice people see what a doofus you are.
Yes, this guy is really wanting to be the star of the show this morning and give all the kisses.
Yeah, totally must my lipstick. Hi, everybody. How's it going?
So, and I'm not sure if the internet's me or her, but somebody keeps freezing, so I apologize now. Hopefully it's not too distracting. Adam wants to know if it's White Fang.
No.
Oh, I think we got a comment from Rumble. It says on here that we can't get comments, but I see one. So, hey, thanks for joining us on Rumble. That's exciting. So anyway, before we get going, this week we are sponsored. We're always sponsored by Chicken Lady Fiber Arts because she's fabulous and we love her. And you can use the code PIKPEEP to get 20% off. Yes, 20% off of your order of $50 or more. For a minute when I was saying it, it didn't sound right. And I was like, wait, am I lying? But she has beautiful yarns, like the Easter colorway we got here.
Which I have in
shawl format, which is gorgeous.
Look at that.
Yep, really pretty. And then I grabbed a couple of her other colors because Anne is not, like I said, she's at an undisclosed location, so she doesn't have the yarn like usual. So this is her yellow stone colorway, which I still haven't made something with. It's so pretty. It's tan and blues and reds, and I think this might have been a one-off or a color she's not making anymore. It's totally all the speckles. But so yeah, she's got really, really pretty yarns. You guys should check her out. We like her a lot. You can use the code PIKPEEP for 20% off your order. So that's happening, as always. We just started the April Showers Make Along. I haven't made any baby stuff yet. I'll tell you about it when it gets to be my turn to talk about projects. I'll tell you why I haven't made anything.
And excuse me, before we get totally off Chicken Lady, she has a new Let Them Live colorway that she is doing 3 of the 50-gram skeins for.
Yeah. Again. Like a little bouquet, like this one. Sorry, my lighting's bad. But like this, so that if you like the colors, which I haven't checked them out this week, went off the rails. But, it's nice because you get enough to make a project, but you don't have to it's a little bit more budget friendly, maybe. Like you get to, it's like a little sample pack. Who doesn't love a little sample pack? I mean, I think they're great. So, and Anne doesn't have the yarn this week, but do you remember what color we're giving away? Is it Eastern Bluebird?
Oh, man.
So we're giving away a skein of Chicken Lady.
Bluebird.
But comment either on Rumble or on YouTube once the video's over, and it will be there. Jeez. You'll be entered to win. I'm new. It's my first day with words. Sorry, friends.
Oh, and Chicken Lady's Advent is out too. Oh, Rebel with No Yell on Rumble says it was a bluebird.
Yes, thank you. That's what I thought, but
it is, like I said, on my desk. I know exactly where it is. Can I remember?
And it's fine that you don't have it. Anne is busy. She's got life to live, and sometimes we don't bring the yarn. Sometimes I don't have any yarn. It's what it is, so. And it is gorgeous. And I'm so excited about the people on Rumble. Hi. So that's fun. Thank you for joining us.
But yes, Chicken Lady's Advent is out. It is Road Trip. Is the thing. But yeah.
Share Bear wants to know if that puppy likes to speak his mind a lot.
Actually, as far as huskies go, he's not very talkative, which is great because the other husky, now deceased, was obnoxious when it came to barking.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He's just a stone cold killer.
I was going to say, if you guys remember back in the beginning of our episodes, there would be a lot of barking. It was because the other husky had so much to say, and she would be quiet until we started recording, and then she would just get going. And it got to the point where we just had to talk over her because she, like, we would have just been constantly stopping and starting.
But she has a lot to say about the economy,
Yeah.
regulations, taxes. She had a lot of opinions.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about. I understand. So yeah, enter to win Chicken Lady yarn. After the episode's done, comment, and we'll pick somebody from the comments. But yeah, see the little April showers thing going across the bottom? That's for our knit along, our baby knit along. Make things for babies. If you want to gift them, you can. If you want to donate them, you can. You just have to show us that you made baby stuff. I still have my stuff from last year that I still haven't sent to Amy, so we're not gonna penalize you if you don't send it, the day you make it, because life is lifing, and that's okay. So join us in that. I haven't started mine yet, but hopefully I will soon, because I love making, well, everybody knows I love making hats. Like, that's not a secret, but I love making baby hats because, like, talk about instant gratification. Like, oh, I have like this quarter of a skein and this other quarter of a skein, and I can make an entire hat and still have leftovers, and it'll be done in 3 hours. Like, who doesn't love that? So anyway, it's my favorite.
It's fun.
So have you worked on anything this week, or?
I have a couple of different things in a pile. Also, because I'll begin with this, because I'm at my undisclosed location. I'm here often enough that I have a whole project that lives here and here alone.
Oh, how fun!
So I have.
Well, you don't have to remember to bring it.
Exactly. But this, I have a granny stripe blanket, and it is quite large. It like keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, but it's about a yard tall and 3-ish yards wide. I don't know. I didn't lay it out on the floor to measure, but anyway, so I have that to show off because I never do.
Yeah, that's cool. Nice. And Anne's a novice crocheter, so that's pretty fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, you only need to know one thing for that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm wrapping up my crochet class at co-op, and it's not easy to like keep your edges straight, and like those are all things people struggle with. So you're doing lovely.
Oh,
I'm proud of you. Are you planning on sleeping toe to toe with someone? That's a very long blanket. Anne likes big blankets. She wants a blanket and also she lives in South Dakota, so when it's cold, it's cold. It's not just like, oh, it's chilly. No, she wants one that she can like fold in half and wrap around her 3 times and have her head like this much of her peeking out. Like that's
exactly.
That's
I don't think I've actually thrown it on a bed, but I'm like, no, I want this to be like actual, like queen size at least, and actually goes over the sides. It's not,
that's always nice. Cool. Very good.
Yeah. So there's that. There is, hang on. I have more yarn stuff. Okay, so I have been test knitting for Neil.
Oh yeah, you showed us. You messed up.
Yes. And I'm gonna have to pull this out too, because I'm not sure, like the length. The length is still a little long. Here, I'm gonna try this on. Muss my hair for y'all. But if I pull this down proper, it's still like this, which is a little long. I mean, I could just like
just do that. Why take it out?
I don't know that. So it'd be like even another thing. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Ask Neil. It's his design, right?
It is his design, but he did do another chart that is shorter.
Oh,
I might just finish this one though. Sorry, Neil.
I mean, you're so close to the end. Like, although if you wouldn't use it, then obviously you should fix it. Like that's I'm not one for taking things out, but also if taking it out would make it more useful, then yes, you should.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably give this one away, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to deal with it. And I have another one, which is not as visible. So,
Is it the same pattern?
It is.
Okay.
And I'm using Knit Cubics for that, which I got at a yarn store on kind of a like, oh, that'd be fun. But it's the wooden square needles.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah, they're like
love them.
chopsticks. I like that. But the it's a 24-inch cord, which I'm like, this is a little too short. I would have liked the longer cord.
See, I have the square ones, and I use so they're 16-inch.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I prefer to knit my hats. I don't. Anne loves Magic Loop or whatever the hell it's called. Me, I'm like, no, I don't want any of that. No, I don't want to fiddle with anything. I just want to keep going.
No, I'm like, at least a 36-inch cord, and it's like, this is like way too short.
But the cubes are nice, aren't they? And that's not the brand I have, but I have similar ones.
I like them. I like the texture of them. I don't know if they're actually doing anything for my wrists, because let me tell you, my wrists are pretty much screwed anyways. So, but some people say that the square needles are more ergonomic or whatever. But I've enjoyed working on this, except, that my color contrast is not that great.
Yeah.
That's a me thing. That's not it.
Yeah. Again, and sometimes things look great in your head, and then once you start it, you're like, this wasn't what I thought it would be, which is always a bummer.
But yeah. Otherwise, I tried to work on the Batman baby booties. I might have to tap someone else in on that one, because I don't know why my brain can't really get a hold on that.
What's the problem?
No, I'm struggling, and I tried to do.
Sorry, are they crocheted or knit?
Well, I tried. I've seen several crochet patterns. I'm like, look, I'm just not going to get this. And then I tried a pair of knit ones instead, and they didn't work out either. So I'm just like, maybe there are far more seasoned hands than I that could whip one of those out very quickly. So maybe I'll just refer somebody else and let it be.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the answer. I mean, when I have trouble, I say, "Hey, Mom." So.
Oh, bless you. Oh, no.
My kids have this horrible seal cough, and I'm hoping that I'm not going to get it. Like, they sound like that barky. It's really great. They've been sick for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, my last thing. Sorry, I have
you're good.
A pile of different things. Is I'm making another hat. It's a kind of the brace style one that goes with my sparrow pattern, but this is with fingering weight yarn, so with extra stitches, and so I have a little leftover bit of like a taupey cashmere, and then I have a very special gray mini skein that was given to me by one of your kiddos, which is very nice.
Yes. They were very proud of picking that out for you.
So I will probably, once, because there's only this much left of the cashmere, I have this purplish yarn, and the taupiness I think will blend well with the gray. And then I have another yarn, which is a little darker than this one, which I'll probably do that. But because it's every two rows, then you switch yarn. Because there'll be a little bit of jog between when this one goes, to purple, then to this one goes. I think it'll
kind of blend out, which will be cool.
It won't just be one color fading and then weird. Hopefully it will work out. We'll see how it goes.
Very good.
But yeah, I need a new hat to go with my coat. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's why I'm doing a knitting world. How about
Good.
you?
Well, you said sometimes you have to bring in a more seasoned knitter.
Mhm.
And so I gave up on the socks. I mean, really, it was just a toe, but I took them to my mom and I said, "Can you put a toe on this?" And she did.
And
And
sometimes too, I mean, I would definitely say that's where I am with the baby booties, where it's just like I have sat here and I've thought about this and I can't get it right. And I just like I don't know that this is a monumental task. But also, if someone
Mhm.
else could do it, they could do it in 5 minutes. Me, I'm just like,
like, because of how, and for anybody who doesn't remember or hasn't watched before, what happened is that the lady's dog got these socks and put a big hole in them. So I had to like rip back and piece together the yarn and knit with as much of her yarn as I could, and then the toe is a different color. But really, in the whole scheme of things, I don't feel like it's. I mean, it's obviously different, but it's not horribly like obnoxious. You know what I mean?
right,
I feel like it
right,
blends
that's
fairly
great.
well. But my mom was saying the hardest part was getting the needles, the stitches set up to do the toe,
Mhm.
like to because they weren't on the needles properly. Because I was working, because I don't like magic loop and whatnot. I was working on I think it was a 9-inch circular, because I'm like, I don't want to mess with this. So
Uh,
anyway, so these got done. Thanks, Mom. Um, and then I'm going to give you guys a quick lesson on Pokemon in case you guys don't know, because this is what I've been dealing with. So this is Lapras. Lapras is a Pokemon character that is a water ice guy. He looks like that. Okay.
um,
And then, oh, sorry, wrong button. I have to do it this way.
why?
So we had a birthday party last night, and can you guys see it? Okay, so this is the Lapras I made. I didn't finish his shell. I ran out of time because I am the worst procrastinator that has ever lived on Earth. And
He's
this is the,
great.
this is the movie theater where the birthday party was, and that's how he was getting put in his bag. Okay, so that's what. But he's supposed to look like the other guy, which you can see. And
Right.
the birthday boy's mom, I said, "Hey, so he doesn't have a shell. If you bring him to co-op in 2 weeks, I'll have his shell. I'll sew it on. Not a big deal." But
Mhm.
he, so the kids went to a birthday party at the theater, and they only had an hour. So they had an hour to eat pizza, do cake, play games, and so obviously no presents were open. So like once we
Right.
all got home, we got a thing of him opening his gifts, and he was stoked to get Lapras.
Good.
I wasn't sure because he's 12 and he's a boy, and I'm like, is he gonna? It's a stuffy. Like
Right.
when does that? Is it because some kids are out of that age sooner than others? So
Mhm.
anyway, and people on Instagram were like, "Oh, it kind of looks like the Loch Ness monster." Yeah, a little bit, but it's a Pokemon character. He's kind
Yeah.
of cool. So that's all I did this week, though. And my mom and I, so we started it together on Tuesday, and we crocheted together for a while, and then I took it home thinking, "Oh yeah, no big deal." But the way it was constructed is like, I'm going to put it back on. So each and every one of these fins is crocheted in the round in white. And then you have to make a piece that goes over top of it that's
Uh,
blue to give it, and it looks great. Like when you see it, it really looks like fins, and it's really cool. But so the forelegs and the tail were made like that.
right.
So like, and there was so much sewing, so
Yeah.
much sewing. And so I could have finished it, but the shell has 9 spikes on it. And I'm like, dude, there's
That's a lot.
no way I'm going to finish 9 spikes and a shell. And
Yeah.
so one of the classes I do is a craft lab where people bring their projects in and we just work on different things that we're working on and chat and stuff.
Mhm.
And one of the students was in my knitting class earlier in the day, and I was talking to her, and I'm like, "Hey, so I'm going to put his legs on because it's better to have legs and be assembled than to have a shell, right?" And she's like, yes, I think
Yes.
that's a good
Having
idea."
legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Having
So,
one.
but it's like, but I'm the worst procrastinator. I gotta get over that. I really do. And I don't have my other project, but I have a colorwork hat that I've showed a couple times that I've been working on. I got a little further on it. It's still the same hat. But yeah, so I know more about Pokemon than I used to, and I've made one now. And now I have
We've learned, we've grown.
Well, I wish I had thought about how much, because it wasn't difficult to make. The pattern wasn't difficult, but it just was so many pieces, and I didn't account for how many I got up at 5:00 yesterday and finished all the legs, and like it took me like 2 hours to sew it all together. I mean, yeah, I was at school, so I was still like facilitating classes and stuff, but yeah, it was a lot. Texas Sheep Lady says she was born a month late and hasn't caught up yet. Yeah, I wasn't late. I was early, but apparently that was the only time I've been early. I'm not sure. Yeah, and so we went to the kids went to the birthday party. I hung out at the theater because we live far enough away that it didn't make sense to go home and come back. So I ended up seeing the Minecraft movie yesterday, and I've heard that it got like bad reviews and stuff. It was fun. And I don't know if it's because I was with a giant group of like 10 to 12-year-olds that it was so fun or what, but the crowd in that theater, they were cheering and clapping, and I think that all made it fun too. But it was a good movie. And I don't play Minecraft, my kids do, but I know enough about it that I was like, okay, I get like these different characters that they have and stuff, and it was fine. It was fun. I wouldn't have paid $14 to go, like, on purpose, but, you know. But hey. So we went to the movies last night, and then on Monday, we're going to go see King of Kings, and I'm stoked about that. Have you heard about it?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Anybody who doesn't know, Angel Studios is putting it out. It's Charles Dickens telling his son the story of Jesus. And I'm so excited about it. And they were running a promo where I got the kids for free. So I only had to pay for 2 tickets. So that was also a bonus because, like, you know, that's cool. But yeah, so that's going on. Got a lot of fun stuff happening. Next week is spring break here. I don't know if it is elsewhere, but you know, we're hoping to have sleepovers, and like I'm still gonna make the kids do school because we can, but also like we're gonna throw in some extra stuff like a movie, and you know, that'll be good.
Good time.
Yeah, Iris says she doesn't have an interest. It takes something special to get me out. Well, if my kids were not at the birthday party, I would not have gone to see it. But Texas Sheep Lady, I remember when Saturday matinees were $0.25. Yeah, so I think I've told this before. My grandma went and saw Gone with the Wind, and it was like a nickel. And they had intermission and ate lunch on the theater lawn. Like, yeah. I wish we lived in those times too, but we don't. And it was $14, and I didn't buy any food for myself because I would have been broke after getting a popcorn. But that's okay. But I'm really excited about King of Kings, so
nice.
That'll be fun, I hope.
Be good.
So, yeah, that's what's going on. Life was like, I say it every week. Life was lifing, but man, this week it was totally dominated by Pokemon. Because the birthday boy is obsessed with Pokemon, and guess what? I also found out you can't just go to a store and buy Pokemon cards. They don't just have them; they're all sold out. I went to like 3 stores, nobody had them, and I'm like, I'm not into something enough to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I used to think that they would have shelves of them and stuff. I don't know what it is. But anyway. So the cheap seats had, people are talking about like 50-cent movies. We used to have a dollar theater where like you would go like a couple months later, but now everything's on demand. And now that I remember that tickets cost $14, I feel less annoyed when I have to pay $30 to rent it on my TV, because that's still cheaper than the 4 of us going to the movies. So it works out.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I know. The older millennial collectors keep swiping them up so kids don't get them. It's a big problem. I didn't know that. Yeah, and this kid's 12, and he wanted these certain packs of, I don't know what they are. I'm talking to people. I'm like, where do we even get these? And they're like, well, you can try this store and that store. And I did. And I was like, I said to my kids, I'm like, we're not looking anymore. Like, not. Anyway, so.
I bought something a couple weeks ago online, and like they had shoved a couple of Pokemon cards in the box, like it was something of use. I'm just like, thank you. Why?
Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do with those Pokemon cards? You going to start your collection now? Do you already have a collection?
No.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
I have my son's old Pokemon cards. Should I sell them? I mean, if he's okay with you selling them.
That's true.
It's a thing. He might still want them. Just double check.
Anyways, I'll probably give them to my brother. Like, is anything?
Yeah.
No.
If they throw them into a box.
Pokemon, though, so I don't know.
If they throw them into a box, they're probably not anything fancy because they would have kept them if they were, right? So
I think so.
But anyway, so those are the adventures of DK and her family this week. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't done in a while. But that's good. So, what else do we know, Anne? Shall we start with the starting stuff?
Let's start with the starting stuff.
Okay. What do you want to start with?
Oh, I don't know. You had some things you wanted to say.
Well, I wanted to talk about Carmelo Anthony, and Anne wasn't sure who that was, but I was like, I'm not going to tell you now because I think she knows. So you heard about the 17-year-old that got stabbed at a track meet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's the Carmelo Anthony's the guy who stabbed him.
Oh. Okay.
But they started a GoFundMe for him, and they it got shut down because GoFundMe doesn't allow for like violent things, which I'm surprised because they allow for everything and they take off. But Give Send Go was supposed to be a Christian company, allowed them to fundraise for him, which I thought was kind of nuts. But I guess the police report came out because there was a lot, I hate to use this word, but there was a lot of misinformation in the beginning, and somebody like made a fake account of the sheriff and was saying that the boy that got stabbed sucker punched this kid first, and that's why he stabbed him. And so like there's this narrative going around that's not accurate. The true story is something along the lines of Carmelo Anthony was in the school's tent. It wasn't his school's tent. Somebody asked him to leave it. He said, oh, try it. And the kid like touched his backpack and he stabbed him. Like totally. And he was trying to like, when the cops arrested him, which has come out now, is he was like, oh, well, it was self-defense. He was coming at me. But I'm sorry, if it's self-defense, you don't do things like, hide your weapon, right? If something happened to me and I had to defend myself and I had a weapon, I would be like, I wouldn't be running away and stuff, right? Like, I might remove myself from the situation, but I'm not going to go hide from the cops if I truly felt like I was threatened and I would want them to come help me, right?
Right.
So I don't know. So it's a big thing, but it's really, really sad. It's 17-year-old. And so because he's 17, he is not eligible for the death penalty, and he cannot get life in prison even if he's found guilty because he's 17, which means he's a minor. Which, I don't know, he stabbed him right in the heart. Like,
yeah.
You don't just, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about it, so I don't know. Cheeky Mira says she takes a weapon everywhere. Yeah, it's sad that we feel like we have to live in a place like that. So, Lisa says she's shocked that no video has come out yet. You don't take the knife to a track meet unless you're hoping for a reason to use it, right?
Yeah.
So, then he had the cheek to ask the police if he was okay. Yeah, it was really gross, and I mean, he's a kid. And I just wonder, like, what... My kids are not that far off from 17. I like, think of, like, how do they get to that spot? You know what I mean? I've got the kids who are excited about going to the Minecraft movie. How do they go? I mean, maybe they weren't ever like that. I don't know. Kendra wants to know why he was in the opposing team's tent. I don't know. There was a rain delay, so I don't know if people were just like taking shelter from those. I don't know. I don't know why, but everybody's talking about what decade they'd like to go back to. I don't know. I really liked the 90s growing up. It was a pretty good time. But I didn't know much about politics and stuff, so maybe it wasn't what I remember. And Tara says it was a school event where weapons were banned. So, right. You know, it's not the same as an adult going somewhere with their legally possessed things that they're allowed to carry. It's, I mean, all the schools now have metal detectors and stuff. So this kid was, I know who goes to hang out under another school's tent. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. 90s was the best. Unlocking lore. Yes. Yes, it was.
Good scene. Yeah.
I disagree that you don't take a weapon. You know what? Whether or not he intended to use it, he was at a school-sponsored event, which means he shouldn't have had a weapon either way. Like, that's the long and short of it. So, he left, hid the knife, and came back. That's premeditated. That's what I'm getting at. Like, if you, heaven forbid, if somebody broke into the house or something and we defended ourselves, you don't run away from that. You call the cops and you get help. You don't just, I don't know. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. But it was just interesting listening to people.
From what little I know, it's like, do you necessarily want to use a weapon that you carry for self-defense? Okay, not necessarily. It sounded like this kid wanted to. Now, maybe he's not. Maybe, there's more stuff to come out down the line. But that seems like he had a plan here.
Yeah. Cheeky Mirror. I'm not defending this guy, but I don't like the broad statement that having a weapon is wrong. I'm not saying having a weapon is wrong, but I am saying that at school where you have metal detectors and things and you're not allowed, and I don't know where specifically they are and stuff, but like here in New York, you cannot drive through a school district, like a school zone with a concealed carry weapon on you. If you got pulled over in a school zone with a concealed carry weapon, you would be detained. Okay? So that's why I have an issue with it. He was in a school area, and it wasn't a gun, but also weapons are not permitted in school areas, and that's the issue. Lisa says Texas isn't like that. Weapon-free zones are the problem. Right, but why does a 17-year-old need a weapon at a track meet? Anne's like,
of course he needed a weapon at a track meet. No, allegedly in Minecraft. But no, the problem is, okay, it used to be in the olden days that a lot of people would carry knives, even, high school kids carry knives. But I would say the problem in this case is the use of said weapon, not necessarily that you have a knife.
No, and I'm not against people carrying weapons, but what is going on? First off, if there is an issue at this school where this kid feels like he needs a weapon to protect himself at a track meet, then we have other issues. I guess that's what I'm getting at. And there's school security there and stuff, so it's not like it was a totally like, I don't know. So it makes for a soft target where people can get away with mass attacks because law-abiding citizens are unarmed. Right. I agree. I agree with all of you guys, but what's going on that a 17-year-old needed a knife? I hope that my kids don't feel like they need a knife when they're 17. Yep. So I just thought it was interesting, though, because there was a lot of stuff coming out, like trying to make the kid that got killed the bad guy. And the police report came out yesterday, and it's just, it doesn't appear to be the case. So, yeah. In Texas, blades longer than 5.5 inches are banned, so if you had a smaller blade, carrying it might not have been illegal. But Tara says weapons are banned at schools and schools events, even in Texas. So it's an interesting conversation. And I'm not saying that we need to, it's this whole George Floyd mentality, I guess, where like the kid obviously did something wrong. I mean, obviously we need a jury and a trial and all of that stuff, but you don't try to tell somebody that you're self-defense when nothing happened to you. So you don't like the guy telling you to get out of the tent. Too freaking bad. There's a lot of things that I don't like. I've never gone up to somebody and stabbed them because they were rude to me. Like, it's this mindset that it's so upsetting, I guess. Guys had gun racks on their trucks when I was 17. Yeah. I think, yeah, there's a lot of issues with the whole weapons and stuff.
Here, I'll be right back. The husky is demanding.
Oh, okay. If a kid needs a weapon to go somewhere, it sounds like not a safe place, so don't go. Like, that's, I guess, kind of how I feel. Like, if you are so concerned, it maybe that's not a place to be. Uh-oh, I can't get this comment off. There we go. The town where this happened is a bougie one. I'm tired of my kids being in danger in society, telling them that they're the ones inflicting the danger. Yeah. It's hard. Farmers usually have rifles and sharp implements, right? It's just I'm not going to go judge anyone. I don't know all the facts, but it's just shady to me that he went there with this thing, and it seemed like he tried to provoke something. Somebody in the comments said something like it's sometimes, people try to get into a fight to provoke someone so that they can retaliate, and that's kind of the vibe I get from it. And everybody trying to say it was okay is the part where I'm like, seems shady to me. So anyway, sorry, that's what I wanted to talk about. That I didn't mean to open up a whole can of worms. It's a touchy topic because I do think that I don't agree with like New York State's policies that you can't carry on a school zone and stuff. If I am licensed and, dude, do you know that you have to take an 18-hour class here in New York to be able to carry a handgun? And then like you have to show proficiency before they will give you a certificate that you've completed the class and stuff. So it's not like in some states where you can just like be like, hey, I want a gun. And they're like, here you go. Like South Dakota. But there's got to be a in between, I think, is what it is. Like, I don't think that the 18-hour class is necessary, but also, I don't know. If you're not a crazy person, then I guess you can have one. But
it sort themselves out pretty well.
Yeah, but yeah, weapon-free zones are part of the problem. But anyway, I didn't mean to start it. Sorry. So, what news do you have?
Well, a couple things. Continuation of the tariff talk from last week. Yay. Excuse me. All right. Here. Anyways, no, man, it's been a great week. Sorry. A lot of people, Trump's whole thing with the, not Republican, not Democrat, but the panicans. It's like, don't panic. We got this. And the pause on tariffs for everybody except for China. Again, fantastic.
It is.
Big fan, gotta say. It's like, so you can't have you can't have large tariffs on a country whose entire economy is based on the cheap crap they sell, and also, have all of the slave labor and everything else, and
Mhm.
things that are things that they make in China that can't be made other places because of the chemicals used have been banned other places and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, anyways, sorry.
No, you're good. I was looking for something I saw. Um,
No, but I also really liked Trump's tweet, like right now is a great time to buy, and then he um, announced something else with the tariffs, and everyone's joking about, it's like, what is this? Opposite of insider trading, outsider trading. Trump
right,
saying, "Hey guys, you should trust me in future because I'm telling you things right now. Listen to me. Bye, bye, bye."
right.
Um,
No, I wanted to bring this up because everybody was freaking out, but oh, but this is the stock market over at the right side where it dipped to once he put the tariffs in place, but nobody was concerned about all that stuff in the middle where it was going up and down real high,
yeah,
and that Biden was in. This is 2020 to 2025 or something, and I just thought that that was a really interesting visual because I need to see things. Like I can hear something, I can be like, well, that doesn't. I don't really understand, or I don't. But seeing this, it's like, okay, so everybody freaked out because it went below that red line for a minute, but like what about all the meme I saw had the spot where it went down, circle is panic, and then the whole section where Biden was president is not a problem. And I was like, that's pretty accurate. Like, so anyway, sorry.
and
I'm getting
I
better at this thing, and now I'm hijacking it.
oh, no, you're all good. I was going to say too, and bringing up the chart because it was a lot of very silly things online. There was one person, and he got piled on, rightly so. And he said that it's like, oh, with this potential trade war, and it was before the tariffs were, bumped
Mhm.
down. But with the trade war in Europe, this means that America will have to eat their own cheeses, and they'll break first. And so you're like, buddy.
I mean, I don't know. I get like Vermont sharp cheddar cheese, and that's really pretty good. So I think I'll be fine.
It's like, dude, have you not heard of the entire state of Wisconsin and
I
our
know.
strategic cheese reserves in Missouri, which we actually have?
That's so
The
funny.
cheese leaves.
I know in the middle of the states there's a lot of cheese, but I've been to Vermont personally for Cabot cheeses, and it's
Oh yeah,
pretty good.
Cabot cheese is great.
So I think I've been to their like outlet store, and I was like, cheese, like it was. I should go take a trip over there. Who doesn't love a cheese
Yeah,
trip?
I so friend of a friend. It was actually something like roommate of or former roommate of my cousin. Anyways, they work at the Bell brand cheese factory, and you can get all of the like reject little cheeses there for super cheap. So, whenever there's like an event, it's like, oh, here, have a big old Ziploc bag of the little cheeses. It's the best thing ever.
That's funny.
But also, it's like,
Um,
we come from.
I
Um,
think we'll be fine with cheese. I mean, some of our other stuff. No, no, I think we're fine.
I think we're fine, actually.
I was trying to
Um,
think of something that I can't live without that we get from somewhere else, but like,
we're like,
I don't know.
oh, well, you need your fancy green Norwegian whatever. It's like, okay, that's nice. I have jalapeno cheddar cheese curds that are fried. I'm very happy with these.
Fried cheddar cheese curds. Those are fantastic.
I
Um,
know. I know. It's
I
like,
was
and I'm
gonna say
going to dip
wine,
them
but
in ranch, and
oh
I'm
yeah.
going to eat them, and I'm going to have a great time. It's like, no.
Mhm.
And people were also saying, it's like, oh, well, you won't survive without European cheeses or chocolates. It's like, again, we're doing okay.
Yeah, and I guess our chocolate isn't as good as other places, but kind of what's happened here is that we don't know the difference, so we're
Mhm.
fine. Like I know a lot of places think Hershey's is disgusting, but it's what we've always had. So like I don't know. And I was gonna say wine, but like I know that there's a whole bunch of wine like on the West Coast, and like I live in the Finger Lakes region of New York. We have you can't like drive 10 miles without falling over a winery or a microbrewery. So like we're doing just fine. Thank you so
No, we
much. So,
don't have quite as many. We do have a few wineries around here too.
but you can get them from elsewhere if you don't have like
Totally. And
we're a big
also,
enough
it's like,
country.
oh, you don't like Hershey? Well, the Gear, or is how it's pronounced,
Ghirardelli?
Ghirardelli, that one.
Yeah.
That factory is in San Francisco. So again,
Oh,
we're okay.
I do like Ghirardelli too. Better than Hershey's, but if I'm in the checkout line, I'm not going to be like, and I really, really need that sugar rush. I'm not going to be like, it's Hershey's. I'm not going to eat it. I'll be like, oh, I'll eat that king size by myself. Thank you. Have a good one.
We'll be fine.
Hershey's is gross. There's always the fancy Ferrero Rocher or whatever.
I don't like the Ferrero Rocher. I don't like crunchy bits.
Oh my God. I love them. Dude, if anybody wants the way in my heart, please send me a box, like the big boxes, not like the 3-pack, like go big or go home. Come on.
I like, is it Lindt? The ones where it's like the little bonbon wrapped in foil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so good.
Amazing. Anyways.
And if you can't tell the kids that you don't like Ferrero Rocher, they might not like you as much as they used to.
Okay.
Ian's like, I don't care.
Well, it's like those candy bars, the ones that come in the blue package that have the crunchy bits in it.
Crunch bars?
Probably.
Yeah, that's what they are.
Crunch bars. Anyways, yeah.
The crunchy bits. Sorry.
There you go.
I gave up sugar for Lent. Oh, I'm sorry. Good for you though. I don't know.
It's difficult. But
yeah.
8 days to Easter, guys.
Mm-hmm. Even for the Orthodox people, so that's fun.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Well, coming together.
People are talking about local chocolate places too. Yeah, like we don't go there because we can't afford to go buy the local made chocolates. But man, once upon a time before we had kids, we would go there and that was fun. My husband bought me an Easter basket there once. It was probably the best one I've ever had. Local homemade chocolate.
Right. But I wanted to show, so there's a map versus the European Union and America. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for not, I'm going to read off some of these numbers because it's by GDP and everything else. And we have, Europe, which is a little more concentrated GDP by country. I was trying to find, I'd seen a map, but the newest one I could find was like 2014. I'm like, that's getting a little old now. Where it was a map of America, but it was every state was paired with a different country as opposed to, GDP. So, like, okay, South Dakota is not a big one. We're like, we have the GDP of like Lithuania, but still it's the 50 states, and each of the 50 states, is like, okay, so, Texas is, closer to Spain or something like that. But okay, and this chart is for 2021 to 2022. But the US GDP is 22.9 trillion versus the European Union GDP is 17.9 trillion.
Okay, can you say it again?
Okay, sorry. The US GDP is 22.9 trillion. The EU GDP is 17.9 trillion.
So we're what, 4 or 5 more than they are? 5 trillion more? Okay. I was reading a comment when you said the first number and it didn't stick.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the European Union, so it's not including Britain proper, but okay, so if you, again, taking the individual states, not all of America, but individual states versus the individual countries of the European Union, California by itself is 3.36 trillion. Germany is 4.23. Okay. France is almost 3. Spain is 1.44. You have all of these countries. So it's like, look, that is competing, Texas is 1.99, almost 2. Just Texas. Florida, 1.23 trillion. And it's like, no, we have a lot of things and we have a lot of resources, but we also have, I mean, a fair amount of ignorance between us that, we where we are is like kind of the world entire. So it's like, well, I'm over in America and I'm sorry, Europe, we don't think of you at all. And Europe is over there going, well, they can't survive without us. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a lot of things in my house that are made in Spain.
Right.
Um, Maybe like a little bit of glassware or a little bit of tinware or something, but I would have to search.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I off the top of my head, no.
yeah. I mean, maybe more food. I mean,
Mhm.
France does a lot of herbs and, fine goods and stuff.
Yeah, but you're talking to the okay, slightly off topic, but you're talking to the woman who shops at Aldi.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I've been meaning to tell you guys this thing, and it has nothing to do with this, but it's about buying food. So sorry. If you guys are not on Flash Food and you're trying to buy for a family, you should check out the app. Stores put things that are marked down on the app, and then like you can get like 5 pounds of sausage for $4 as opposed to the 20 that they normally sell it for in the store. And I've been dying to tell everybody about it because it's really great. So, but that's how I shop. I'm not like, oh, let me go get my French herbs. No, I'm buying the use or freeze today meat so that I can feed my family for the next week. So
Mhm.
that's where I'm at. So sorry, that was my random rant. But
Oh, totally. Lisa says it's not like I have to sell my one Le Creuset piece. Okay.
yeah,
Speaking of thrift wins, or wins for thrift, and that's not necessarily thrift when we talk about food. I
but
found it was
it's
like a
cheap.
little, it was like a little, what is it, 8x8 or 9x9, one of those little tiny casserole
Mhm.
dishes for $8, and it was Le Creuset, and it was at like a used store. I'm like, this is incredible, and it was my color too. I like the red ones.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing too is that I with how things have been, I don't buy new stuff. I thrift things. I use flash food and I buy my
Oh,
meat and my produce cheaper. Like I just you the people who are concerned about these things aren't the people who are truly like trying to make every dollar stretch as far as they can. So like and that's
well,
most of the country. Like you know what I mean?
I mean, I would say I buy used things, but mostly because I'm cheap.
Mhm.
I am that guy. And Kendra, very right. Frontier Herbs is 30 miles from her in Iowa. I know that
Mhm.
there is another big spice place out of Wisconsin too.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a few of them around, but like that's the thing. And I'm just not going out of my way to buy something fancy. I'm going out of my way to, you know, dude, get a box of produce for $5, full a big box full of everything I need. And I'm like, it'll be a surprise and we'll have whatever is in there. Because yeah, those people are crazy though. I'm about using old items. If it still works, why would I buy new? Right? Like that's the thing. Long time ago there was a show called Adam Ruins Everything and he was talking about like the whole push to like everybody use glassware and this and that and whatever. And he's like, it's good if you need to replace things. Like it's good to buy a better quality that will last longer. But if you have a cabinet full of Tupperware and it's still functional and you can use it, then it actually makes more sense. But so many people are in. I mean, we got Amazon that'll ship you something this afternoon if you live close enough to a hub. People are so instant gratification that they don't think about using things and whatever. So anyway,
Oh,
I'm tangenty.
oh, totally. And also the push towards more American made goods. It's like, okay, the push towards less disposable
Mhm.
things that are really nice and really last a while. Not the Timu Wish crap where it's like, oh well, yeah, it breaks after 3 uses, but after all, it was only $1, so that's all
Right,
right. Like, well, this
right.
is just churning through kind of garbage stuff.
Yep. No, I prefer to thrift. I prefer to, I don't know, last year I had a couple weddings to go to. I went shopping at Goodwill first to try to find what I needed because, like, why? My kids, they grow so fast. Most of their stuff is secondhand. We have a great shop around here that accepts really well, like, barely used clothes, and then you get them for like $4 instead of 20, and like you can't argue with that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I know that this is off topic, but I think that we need to shift from the buying everything new, buying everything we want, buying everything to like have a little decorum. You don't have to have everything you want right now. Like, chill, thrift it. You know, make it a thing. You know, my husband and I like to go to the flea market, and I don't know, last summer he was looking for a wrench or a socket, a certain size of something that he didn't have. And so that was part of what we did on the weekend was like, let's go to the flea market. We'll walk around. We'll, you know, the kids will buy some honey sticks, which they think is a great treat. We'll see if we can find this tool he needs. Like, you know, it doesn't have to always be big, flashy nonsense. I know that's off topic of what you were saying, but just my thoughts.
Man.
Sorry.
That's all good. I don't know. Anyways, all that to say, American cheese is great.
Yeah.
We love it. We even love our government cheese.
No. New products are not quality, old. Yep. So,
man, now I want cheese curds.
Now
I want cheese curds.
Well, I thought you said you had some jalapeno cheese curds. Oh no, you had to get those somewhere.
Not like here, but I need.
Oh, just in general around you can
in
get
general, them. It is an easily accessible thing, and now I'm hungry.
Yeah. No, one of our favorite places to go, we go there because they have delicious cheese curds. And then they have a ping pong table and an air hockey table, and the kids can play, and my husband and I can hang out and eat. You know, everybody eats cheese curds. It's great. It's a great time.
Definitely.
Anyways. And so that's why you should support our sponsor, Chicken Lady, because a lot of her yarn is from the US of A, which...
Anyways.
So, I don't know. What else you got? It's about an hour. Do you have more we gotta cover? I will try not to tangent.
Not much. Oh, I caught Douglas Murray was on Joe Rogan this past week.
I don't know who he is.
Oh,
maybe I do. Refresh me.
So Douglas Murray has been someone who has been the forefront of all of the quote controversial issues for the past 20 years. He was at least 20 years ago talking about like, hey guys, Muslim immigration is an issue in England and all of these things. That he's a reporter. He writes books on these subjects. He's an intellectual. He's someone who does all of these Oxford debates. And it's a well-known figure, and he wrote The Strange Death of Europe. He's been writing books about all of these different woke culture things as they've been happening for years. And it was a debate between him and Dave Smith, who I wasn't very familiar with before. But it was an interesting debate because Douglas Murray actually knows things, and Dave Smith can say a lot of things quickly. And it was a yes.
Okay, I don't know. So there. Play Douglas at 1.5 or double speed. Okay, good to know.
I think he's fine at regular speed. But it was an interesting thing because Dave Smith would be like, oh, well, what about this, this, and this, and this? And and Murray would come back and be like, so it's like, well, that was already addressed in a debate years ago. And he's like, I didn't know about that debate. He was like, I was at the debate. I saw it live. Yes, it happened. And yes, he was trounced. But it was different stuff like that where it's like, well, if I say five things very quickly and say, well, of course you think this and everybody believes this and move on. And Douglas Murray takes 1 point or 2 points and turns them around. And it was very, I don't know, it was like, okay, because I'm familiar with Douglas Murray and have been for years, it was kind of like a buddy, you don't know who you're talking to. And also, part of the debate was between, it's like, Douglas Murray says, hey, you should actually be an expert on these issues. It's like, well, anybody can talk about things on the internet. Like, yeah, everybody can talk about things on the internet, but it is a presumed position of authority. And it's saying like, oh, well, I'm not an authority. I don't claim to be an authority. But then it's the switch between I don't claim to be an authority, but I talk about this subject all the time and people listen to me. And Murray was saying, like, you have to be careful when you are that guy that you are accurate and you are not framing things in a bad way. And there's a switch. It's like, you're saying that, I'm not an expert because I haven't done this and this. And there was this bit of conversation when they're talking about things in Israel. And Douglas Murray is shocked. He's like, oh, so have you talked to the people here? And he's like, no. He's like, have you ever been to Israel? And he says, no. Douglas Murray has been wearing a flak jacket, walking around with IDF, talking to soldiers and writing about it. And he had been to Israel many times for years. And this guy seems to be like, oh, well, that's impossible. And Murray's like, hi, journalistic integrity. Not that you can't, talk about the issue if you're not there, but someone has to be there to talk about the issue. So it's like, oh, well, if you're not a firsthand account, that means you can't talk about it. And it was just everything was switched, everything was moot. And the semantics were like, that Murray was trying to be very accurate. And Dave Smith, everything he would say, he would try to switch the language. He would say that he would frame that if the IDF attacks the Palestinians, then it makes people upset about the innocents dead more likely to join the resistance. The resistance was how he framed it. And yet when Murray's like, hey, man, he's like, well, no, they're a terrorist organization. It's like, why do you frame it like that? It was very, very shifty, very, that the way that the conversation was framed. But anyways, Douglas Murray was very good. And it was very much like I said, with the experts thing, that we have an issue that people, here we are on the internet, also not experts, but it's the issue of like you can't know things. Like people say experts and then they say, well, the experts during COVID were crap, so I won't listen to the experts. But they won't become experts themselves because after all, experts suck. So why would we do that? It's like saying, somebody has a statement and you're like, whoa, have you checked the facts on that? It's like, well, you must believe in Facebook fact checkers. No, but you have to look at the facts. You can't say, has this been fact checked in the authoritarian online view? Or has this been fact check of, okay, so what are you backing with buddy? Well, I'm just saying, well, you have to just attach from something.
Excuse me. There's, like you said, oh, well, we're on the internet, but we don't purport to be experts on anything. We talk about things we've seen and heard and our opinions on it, which is not saying that we're experts. But
I do believe in experts.
Right. But we also, if I'm going to tell you guys about something, like this morning I want to talk about Carmelo Anthony, and I read like 4 different articles from 4 different places about him because I wanted to know what's going on. I'm not just going to go and say, oh, well, I saw somebody post this meme. I mean, sometimes I say that, but generally I try to, have a
It's framed as a
understanding.
meme. It's not.
Right. But, you want to have an understanding of something. And just because you seek out more information doesn't mean that, you're like you're trusting the fact checkers. I just want to know. I could tell you the sky is purple. And I could say, well, I saw it on the internet. Well, did you do any more research, or do you just believe it because you saw it? Like, there's a difference. That's my point. But what was he on? Douglas Murray? What was this that you were listening
It's
to?
on Joe Rogan's show.
Joe Rogan. Okay, thank
Joe
you.
didn't talk much, but he has a new book on democracies and death cults, which is about the Israeli-Palestine issue. And Trump reposted it too.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Adam says that he's been in the thick of it, like Churchill and Israeli war correspondent days. That's interesting, But people can be experts. I don't know. There's a lot of information out there, and you should be choosy with it. Just because, somebody you like says it doesn't mean that you should be like, oh, yeah, well, so-and-so said it, so it's got to be true and right. And Adam says Barney is purple. I think that that's probably accurate, but I'll double check. So.
Yeah, and it gets, that you want, like I said, you want to be as close to firsthand sources as possible. Not that it's necessarily a good, original sources. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Not that because you happen to be in a place, you necessarily have the best view of it. Because there is some deeper things.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like with history stuff, it's much better to get original sources and look at those, or have like history books that often quote from original sources than it is, the fifth string dissertation on an issue.
Right.
If you're, things like letters, things like news reports can be framed in a certain way, which may not be the wider view of an issue. But if you're looking at historical sources, the closest thing is possible.
Yep. So very good. So, what do you think? Do you have more that we need to hit on? Or are we good?
We're past an hour, so
yeah. So, don't forget that we love Chicken Lady, because we do. She's fabulous and wonderful. And sorry, looking at other things. You can use the code PIKPEEP for 20% off of your order of $50 or more. This is the Easter set, which I think is gone now. Last time I knew there was like a couple left, but they may be gone now. But you can get her Let Them Live colorway in the 50-gram skeins like this one. And she has other lovely colors, and they're all really, really pretty. And we're giving away Eastern Bluebird this month. So when we're done, you can comment on the videos and be entered to win, which is always fun. Everybody loves a little prize.
And check out her Let Them Live yarn that she's doing.
Yes. It's up on the site? I never checked it out this week.
Ooh.
1 second, guys. I'm going to see if I can get it for us real quick.
That's right.
I spelled our sponsor's internet address wrong.
Chicken Lady Fiber Arts, for those of you in the chat. Chicken Lady Fiber Arts.
My bad. Let's see if I can find her super quick. But there's lots of fun stuff going on. You can get her Road Trip USA Advent. That's a new thing that we have happening. Also, I'll tell you guys about this.
That one. Her State Park yarns are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what the Road Trip USA will be.
She also has this one, which is Neil's got the. Oops, you guys can't see it. My bad.
Oh, hey.
This, can you see it now? Yeah.
Yes.
So, but Neil's doing the Make Orange Great Again color knit along starting in June. So if that's something you want to join in on, she's got colors for it, which is super fun. And I can't find the Let Them Live ones because I wasn't prepared. Sorry, friends.
Yeah, we're getting there.
I'm getting there. Quick. Ooh, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Anne
your
knows what I'm
colors.
talking about. Right? They're great. I love them all. I want them all. So anyway, if you want them too, you can use the code PIKP for 20% off of your order of $50 or more, and they look fabulous. So I recommend. And we will be talking about if we're going to get some. We need some stuff because our 5-year anniversary is coming up, guys. So we got some stuff happening, some fun stuff. So anything else? No, you're good today.
Join us for Tuesday for Knitting Wars.
Oh yeah, Knitting Wars on Tuesday, and it might be the last one, or there might be one more before Anne takes a little sojourn. I don't know if that's the correct word. She's going to be out and about doing fancy things, globetrotter that she is, and so
I'm excited. I'm jazzed.
But yeah, we're on Tuesday nights at 6 Eastern. And we usually run for about 2 hours. It's me and Anne, some friends, whatever works out. So make sure you check that out. And that streams on Rumble and YouTube. Use the code PIKPEEP. We'll be back on Tuesday. We'll be back next Saturday. It looks like 9 o'clock Eastern Saturdays is going to be our go-to if we can maintain it. So it works out pretty nicely. And I think that's all for this week, right, Anne?
I think it is.
Cool. All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Comment when the video is over. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.